Hey! Oh, let me adjust the cape. Oh, how do they do that? How do they sit with that cape and not want to have to fiddle with it? All right, so if you can't tell, I got my personal Superman shirt on. Um, I'm here to talk about Supergirl, actually. This is a similar, you're wondering about the S symbol. Um, this is kind of not fully, because the real one has no uh, clear insides. It's one solid yellow with the black outline of the S from Christopher Reeve, Superman the movie. It's on the back of his cape. That is my utmost favorite styles of capes for the Superman character. But anyways, that's a side note. On to the movie of Supergirl. I've waited. If you have not watched it, this is going to be a very spoil-filled review, reaction video, however, whatever my thoughts and my critique, however you want to call it. This is what this is. So I'll pop up some things that I'm talking about to show you. But so far, my initial reaction from the short after the movie was a 5.5. I'm sticking with that. I might even lower it to a 5, maybe a 4.5, somewhere in that area. Definitely 4.5 to 5.5. I want to go lower than the 4.5, but I'm really not going higher than a 5.5 on this. So if you have not watched Supergirl, then you don't want to watch this because it's going to have spoilers. So that's your warning. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. But if you don't care about spoilers, if you watched it, and this will be what you want to watch then. We could discuss it. What did you like? What did you not like? Do you agree with my thoughts on this? And do you think that it should be a lower grade? Do you think it should be a higher grade? Let me know in the comments. So I'll go on. So here's my review of it. It's like I said, it's still a 5.5. I wasn't thrilled with it, which is why it's got a 5.5. These movies, first of all, let me start with this. It had red flags for me when the ticket sales went late, the no 4DX, the promos on it are really not, they're lackluster. So those were red flags. So that worried me. And then seeing the trailers, the only thing I kept seeing was that this was going to be a story about her saving her dog, which is fine. I never read the series, which I'm currently reading. I've read issue 1 so far, and out of that issue, there's a lot of changes that are different from the movie and the book, which I'll get into kind of. I guess I'll do that now. So in the movie, as you know, she's off-world trying to escape her memories of her past, running away from her responsibilities, her powers, her just memories of her family and the planet dying, and she, all of that. She's in this emotional turmoil, and she doesn't want to be having those emotions, so she's going off and getting drunk. It just so happens to be a birthday. Well, in this, it's the opposite. She's just going out to party for her birthday. She still knows that she has responsibilities on Earth, and this is her 21st birthday, and she's going off to party and have some drinks, and then she's going to go back to Earth. In the movie, not that. She's out there getting drunk, escaping her memories, which is fine, but that doesn't change the fact of how the movie goes. I'm fine with it. Even knowing that, I would be like, that's a little different of the character, because the comic version makes her more responsible while still having fun, where this one she was just not responsible at all. Uh, but either one would be that age group. I mean, 21-year-olds, I remember being 21. That's, yeah, I wanted to have fun. But I also tried to be responsible. But I also didn't care about responsibility. I also did. I also ran for my reason. There's a lot going on in the brain at that age. So I get it. So fine. So she goes, she's there. We get introduced to Ruthie. And here's another big difference. In the movie, Ruthie, her father is like this master class swords maker, blacksmith swords maker that's known around the world and possibly around parts of the galaxy universe. And Cram, the villain, has come to take their swords. And just by mistake, it's at night, her one brother versus 5 or 6 brothers in the book, in the comic, Ruthie's brother sees her just standing there staring down the hallway at Cram sitting there, kind of threatening without threatening, verbally threatening, really just being menacing in his scariness to her parents. And so the brother gets out of bed, and he's just doing what a brother would do to a sibling. Jump out and go booga booga booga, My brother done that to me all the time. So that's what he was doing, just having fun. However, in this case, it was the worst timing ever, and he gets killed, and then the parents get killed, and some reason she's left alive, and he leaves, and I'm not even really sure if he takes any of the swords, because Ruthie ends up with one sword, and she goes out on revenge, and she basically becomes an Inigo Montoya. It's like, you killed my father, prepare to die type thing. And so she's, in this case, it's a, hey, this dude killed my father. Me and Inigo Montoya, he's like, hey, I'm looking for a 6-fingered man. She was like, I'm looking for Cram. He killed my parents, and now I'm going to kill him. So same thing. I'm fine with that. Book version so far, and again, I've read one issue, and this is how the difference is. She's still doing that, but more in the movie, she just had the sword because it was her father's sword, and this was Cram's sword, but Cram is not a gangster, the brigands leader, none of that in the book. In the movie, he is. He's the this gangster leader of the space gang, and he came to get the swords, killed them, left. The book in issue 1 is he is a undercover agent of the king who goes around to find out what people think of the king, and he ends up killing her father and just leaving the sword, and the father leaves the rest of the family alive, and Ruthie goes out, gets the sword out, and it's like, I don't even know why he left this sword. It's a great sword. I will ask him before I kill him. And that's part of issue 1. And in the movie, yeah, like I said, that's not the case. The whole family died, smaller family. She gets the sword that was her father's, and she goes after him. And so when she's going, Cram just somehow comes across Supergirl's ship, because his ship was blown up, and he's looking for a way off planet. And I'm thinking, it's like, well, this is, a small world. Maybe they don't have a lot of ways off unless you have you're rich, or you have your own personal, or somebody comes in type ship. But it's not the case. There's evidently a bus, a public transit system of ships that will come down and take you off. Why he didn't just go there and hijack one of those to take him where he needs to go versus wandering around and risking just by chance. I mean, if Supergirl wasn't there, then he wouldn't have ever found that ship. So if you know that there's a scheduled ship that will be landing in this exact spot, why would you? You're a bad guy. You have no compunction about stealing it or killing people. Why would you wander around a planet going, well, I wonder if I'll find a ship? No, you would go to there. That's one of the points that annoyed me. So, yeah, he goes, finds her ship, and gets on it, and takes it. And when she goes, she's talking to Ruthie, and Ruthie's like, you got to help me. And she's like, I'm not going to help you. And Crypto's out there with them, and Crypto now, they don't see these gangsters getting on her ship, and then Crypto does, and he goes running, and Cram shoots Crypto with a poison dart, and then takes off, and then you discover, like, it cuts to the veterinarian or doctor, I don't know. She's in some building, some alien, and she's speaking alienese, and Ruthie's translating, and the thing comes. It ends up being, it's like, well, yeah, the dog Crypto has 3 days to live, poisoned with this poison that there's only one cure for, and Cram has it, so she has to go get that. She can't risk moving Crypto or it'll speed up the process. So here's my thing. Crypto and Supergirl are both Kryptonian. They both have the same blood type. Their cells, all of that's Kryptonian. They're the same. That's why Crypto is able to fly and do all that. Yellow Sun gives him the power, same as them. If it speeds it up, they have 3 days, right? So I'm saying, let's say it cuts the time in half, or she has a day and a half if she moves him. It wouldn't take her a day and a half to find a Yellow Sun. So just get Crypto, fly to a Yellow Sun, heal Crypto from the poison because he's Kryptonian, and the poison is not kryptonite, which means he'll heal. So why risk spending 3 days hunting down somebody you have no clue who they are, where they be, or how long it'll take you to get there? Again, the risk factor to me would have been, I would rather risk taking a day to find a Yellow Sun to heal Crypto versus taking 3 days to maybe find this guy. I mean, that's a higher risk. So, but it's a movie, and if they done that, then it would have been over, which it should have been. It should have been shorter. It's way too long. There's a lot of drawing on of things that didn't need to be in there. Some of the fight scenes, I saw no real point in the fight scene when you see Lobo the second time. The first time they're in a bar, that made sense. They have to find a place to start to get information on Cram, so that makes sense. She's like, he's a bad guy, he's a villain, he ain't going to be at a library. And people he hangs out with most likely won't be at libraries or museums, none of that. They'll be in a dive bar. So they go to a dive bar, and they're trying to get information. And in the process, Supergirl has to fight, which was cool. I enjoyed it. That was a cool fight. I would have, but then I also didn't enjoy it because in that fight, when they start to fight, she tells Ruthie to take cover. So Ruthie, she gets pushed off to the side, and kind of hunkers down, and you don't see the fight. Why? I'm here to watch Supergirl, not to watch Ruthie to hunker in fear and off to the side. That's not the name of the movie. It ain't Ruthie Hunkers in Fear or Ruthie Hunkers for Safety. No, it's Supergirl. Let me see this fight with Supergirl, but we don't. And then it ends, and they sit down, and then she was like, "Oh," she's like, "That's Lobo. Don't look at him. Don't talk to him. Leave him alone." And he comes walking up, and it goes, and he's after one of the same gang members as a bounty. And I was so wanting Lobo to be really cool. I was thinking that, the whole reason Lobo is in this movie is because they want Lobo to have his own show or a movie of his own. If they do that, it can't be from this portrayal, because it was horrible. It was horrible, and he had no purpose in it. He didn't do anything really, and if you leave him in there, he doesn't do anything. The movie does not change. If you take him away, movie does not change. Was he funny? No. Was he cool? No. None of it. He was so disappointing to me. The one thing that I really hated about this character was that the cigar that they had him smoke looked like a toy that you would get from the dollar store. It was one of those that you would get in a Halloween costume package, where they're like, "Oh, put one AA, AAA battery in there, and the end will light up and look like a real cigar." And that's what it looked like. It looked like a plastic fake cigar that he put in his mouth and it would light up. Horrible. Then not only that, back to cigar. Before I go to the next point, they could have either taken the cigar out completely. Don't show them at all smoking. If they're worried about showing a real cigar being smoked, take it out. Why? Were they worried about having real cigars break? I don't know. Did they not look good on camera? If so, take them out. Don't have it again. Take out what's bad. Don't put in something that makes it look worse. The smoke, look, it was CG. It's just so bad. It was so bad. That cigar just needed to be gone. Now back to the second thing is his chest. It looked like a rubber piece. I mean, it did not look real at all. I mean, maybe it could have been real, and it was the paint job, the lighting. For whatever reason, to my eye, when I watched it in IMAX, it looked like he had the rubber suit thing on for its body part, and he just put his vest over top. So it was horrible. So then, to the second time you see him, this fight was unneeded. They're in the town. They've now talked to the bartender and his wife, and they're like, "Well, come with us, and we'll help you find them." And they seem kind of sketchy, and and Supergirl is thinking the same. They seem kind of sketchy, and they are. They turn them in, and Cram comes down to get them to trade the bartender's daughter for them, and it's like, okay, that's fine. It's not the pretty crappy thing to do, but I also I don't understand. I would figure I would understand if I had a kid and they were kidnapped and put into to where they're being trafficked. Then this was a way to get them back. I probably would do it the same. I mean, who wouldn't? Doesn't make it better, but it didn't help the movie any. And that's what I'm saying. It just, that scene didn't help. It didn't do anything. Yeah, it got crammed down there to fight them, but was it needed? And with Lobo in there doing his little thing, what you see in the trailer is what you see in that movie. It happens, and did it do anything? No, didn't do anything. Should have been cut out. Save some time. Smush it down. And then even at the end of the movie, when Lobo shows up again and he helps fight, doesn't do anything. The worst of it, actually, the third time you see Lobo, he's in a cage on the ship of the Brigands with Cram. They got him locked up, and so they get Ruthie, and they put Ruthie in a cage next to him. Why? I don't know. They do. movie reasons. They're cage next and to each other, and she's trying to climb on it, and there's these spikes, and he Lobo's like, oh yeah, go, be careful, go right ahead. Those spikes are tipped in poison. And she asked him, he's like, well, hey, if you're so tough and everything, what are you still doing locked up here? And he's like, oh, part of my plan. Really? It is? What's his plan? This is Lobo. He's a wrecking ball. He knows the person he's after is on that ship. Why would he allow himself to be captured and then put into a prison cell and then just sit there? And then the poison. He's not Kryptonian. So he heals from anything, which means for any reason. He doesn't need yellow suns, red suns, none of that stuff. He just heals instantly. That means that poison ain't going to do anything to him. So, and he's strong enough to go toe to toe with Superman. So push open up the door. Oh, he might get cut with. Oh, so what? Wipe it off. Go do what he needs to do, but he doesn't. So the whole Lobo character for me, as you can tell, don't like him in the movie. Pointless in the movie. Useless in the movie. Was just horrible all around. Shouldn't be in there. So the other thing I didn't like about this movie was how they treated Supergirl's powers. They nerfed her, and it's not like where they took them away and never gave them back. They did, but they didn't. So what I mean is, so what happens is she goes to Yellow Sun, she loses her powers. But she still seems a little strong. Then she gets her powers back, but they're not full. She goes to Yellow Sun. She starts getting her powers back. She's fighting. It was a cool scene. She's doing teleportation. She then ends up out in space, and that was really cool looking. Her in space. And that really, it's the only real cool fight scene. That space scene with when she's out there fighting the hijackers of the bus. But then, then she gets her powers back, right? But then she gets poisoned and loses the powers by drinking poisoned milk. And then she gets her powers back. And then she goes and finds where Cram is. And, it's a yellow sun. But, it's also a green sun that's supposed to be like radiation like kryptonite. So now she's being poisoned again. Now she lost her powers. Then the yellow sun comes up again. And then she gets her powers back again. And then she gets poisoned again with a bunch of poison-tipped arrows. And then she fights, and then the movie's over. And I'm like, why wasn't I given a movie where at the beginning she was out getting drunk, runs into some trouble, starts to get her powers back, runs into a little trouble with midway through, then fully gets her powers back, and just bam, takes everybody out. Didn't get that. So that disappointed me. And then the fight scene at the end where she's running again, we go to a scene that would have been amazing of seeing her taking out like the whole gang of the all the bad guys. Like, I don't know how many of them was, but there was a lot circling around with tanks and giant guns and all this. And she's just flying at super speed, and just boom, and you see some slow motion of like the bad guys going, and then near the end you see her like punching one up. You see maybe 10% of that fight. The focal point is really it's Ruthie in the center just going, and that's it. Why? Again, I'm not here to watch Ruthie stand. I'm here to watch Supergirl be Supergirl. And I didn't get that. So yeah, the movie, like I said, the more I think about it, talk about it, it kind of starts lowering down to a 4.5. The acting in this was good. I enjoyed the acting. Um, the people in it, the actor that done Cram, made Cram believable evil. You hated that dude. From minute one, you're like, don't like you. I want you to be beat by Supergirl and taken out instantly before you even done anything. You're like, this dude needs to be just taken down. Um, Ruthie, amazing in it. I mean, her dedication to, to stay um, stern and scared and naive all at the same time of what she was doing. Very good. That was portrayed well. Millie done well, I think, at Supergirl. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people don't like her, don't like the way she looks. Aside from what I hated the most, which is the suit, she doesn't wear it until the very end. She's wearing a trench coat and just clothes. It's like, I mean, again, I want to see Supergirl. I want to see the Supergirl suit. Same as Superman. I want to see Superman in the Superman suit. I want to see Batman in his Batman suit. Supergirl didn't do it, but I don't see nothing wrong with her look. The look without her in the suit was cool. I liked the way she portrayed Supergirl. We see that easily that she has a lot of inner turmoil. Her memories and thoughts and all that's hurting her. It comes out. So I get it. I mean and then once she's in the suit and she decides to be Supergirl, you could see her posture changing and all that. It's done well. It's just a movie that was too long. There was a lot of the flashback scenes should have been shortened. The fight scenes should have been panned out better, shown more of the fight scenes, and leave Lobo out completely. That's why it's definitely at best the 5.5. At worst, to me, 4.5. But it's in that range. I'm possibly going to go watch it again in 2D this coming weekend, the 4th of July weekend. I don't know yet. But if I do, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll enjoy it more. Maybe I'll dislike it more. I don't know. But right now, that's how I feel.